Today in the crypto space, we see the market still going sideways. Bitcoin hovering around that $26,600 mark, and Ethereum up approximately 2%, still hovering around that $1,600 level. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are definitely appreciating Bitcoin stability. We see some good gainers, HBAR, and a few more. Today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, altcoin right now that is looking pretty bullish, and of course, that is Hedera hashgraph HBAR. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description below. Guys, join that Discord. The Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. All right, let's begin. Bitcoin showing some strength. Guys, yesterday live, we did talk about Bitcoin strength and the momentum. The momentum shift to the upside is definitely still playing out. In the short term, I'm expecting Bitcoin to continue its trajectory to the upside, as long as the RSI, the momentum oscillator, is still climbing. So right now we're up approximately 2% for now, and I feel like we could get a little bit more of a push to the upside in the short term, but definitely here, guys, as long as Bitcoin is showing this a little bit of strength, we need to be prepared, and we need to be aware that shorting right now is a bit dangerous, because the altcoins and the rest of the market either will go sideways or follow along Bitcoin's lead, and we see many of these altcoins getting a bit of that relief to the upside with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can see that as I scroll down, you can see XRP going up, we can see Cardano scaling up, we see Solana and many others. Look at Tron looking pretty strong, Toncoin trying to break out, maybe getting it to a higher high. We have many projects, although they've been going sideways, they're slowly grinding to the upside. Now, guys, be careful, because big picture here, we do expect a little bit of a continuation to the downside longer term, but the short term, guys, be careful with going short right now, because a lot of these altcoins are definitely appreciating the fact that Bitcoin is showing a bit of strength, right? We do have many of these altcoins. You can see even XLM is not doing much. Okay, that's probably one of the projects right now that are not really doing anything, but the rest are pretty much in the green, give or take, maybe 1%, 3%. That's pretty healthy, keeping up with Bitcoin. But then you also have some other altcoins that are not really doing much. VeChain had its time already, taking a bit of a break, consolidating, looking for another leg to the upside. Same with Optimism, doing the same thing, maybe even Maker DAO, maybe consolidating here, looking for that next leg. What about Kaspa? Maybe Kaspa goes also for another leg to the upside. Currently, we see many of these projects definitely appreciating Bitcoin's lead right now. Kaspa for one of them. I am very, very hesitant with Kaspa right now. Kaspa has been very, very active, obviously to the upside, up approximately 22.6% to the upside. And for me, getting into a fresh long is very, very dangerous, especially right now that it's basically struggling to break previous high. So let's be careful here with Kaspa. Ultimately, if we get to those extension levels, I'll be taking profit. Okay, guys? So if you are following me on the Discord, and if you're part of the community, I'll definitely keep you updated with my next move and my next entries and exits with all the projects that I cover. All right, let's continue going sideways. As you can see, even Algorand, with a bit of bullish news with its upgrade, is doing pretty good, 3% to the upside. Stacks doing pretty good. Axie Infinity waking up 10% out of nowhere, guys. I'm not really interested in Axie. For some reason, it didn't do it for me, so I'm not interested. But nonetheless, it is still great. Doing very well. It is a larger cap gaming project, of course, up 10%. Pretty cool. What else do we have going sideways here? Radix going sideways. Guys, I feel like Radix is ready to proved to the market that it's looking for that support, and it has gotten that support. So I'm looking at scaling in very, very soon. Render coming up ever so slightly. Is it going to come back to range lows? Possible. So I'm keeping an eye on Render. Nothing really is happening with Render in its ecosystem right now, so I don't understand why it would actually break out just based on Bitcoin. That's it. Maybe just based on Bitcoin. Injective, top of the range, maybe looking for that rollover, but many others look at Phantom doing pretty good, trying to pick up here at the bottom, double bottom, trying to break out. If it breaks out from previous highs, it may be looking for that short-term breakout to the upside. So some good stuff here. Even Rollbit, 6.8% to the upside. Thorchain, Rune, guys, nice move. It looks like it's another high, a higher high. It looks like it's just trying to get to the upside here. Unfortunately, yesterday live, I had it on the list, but we couldn't cover it because so many requests. But at the end of the day, Thorchain is looking pretty good right now. So many altcoins are looking good. Many projects are looking strong. However, guys, keep zooming out. Don't always zoom in, because zooming out gives you big picture. Bitcoin, as soon as Bitcoin gets its momentum shift back to the downside, given that its current path is down, the trend is somewhat down, we got to prepare that all these altcoins will definitely come down with it. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin still hovering around this range. You can see that, still making that potential lower high. At the end of the day, though, guys, the momentum, it's all about the momentum. I think that the momentum needs to kind of show us that the bulls are exhausted before we even can consider going short. But if you do zoom out, guys, this thing is going to roll over one day, and I feel like eventually maybe we come up a little bit higher, maybe we don't, maybe we just keep on coming down to the downside and hit that $22,000 bearish price target that I have going here, because at the end of the day, that's where I'm looking to be scaling into Bitcoin and a lot of these altcoins when we do get that dip. Okay, so let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. If you can see that the momentum right now compared to the price action is basically telling us that, we're looking for that momentum shift to the upside, basically looking for overbought conditions, right? What that means in the short term, we could see Bitcoin, continue getting that positive push to the upside, but it also means that maybe Bitcoin might just neutralize it. So imagine that. Imagine if we get a full reset of the momentum to the upside in a bullish way to overbought conditions, and the price action continues going sideways. Guys, that's not a good sign for Bitcoin. Okay, that sometimes happens. It's not often. It does happen, but that's a very bearish signal, given that the fact is that the price action was neutralized completely. And at the end of the day, once we get overbought, we should start looking for that rollover, and we didn't get a retracement. In fact, we just went sideways and a continuation to the downside. Very, very negative. Look at the MACD, EMAs facing up, green histogram bars to the upside. So in my opinion right now, obviously none of this is financial advice, but I do think that if Bitcoin continues with this push to the upside, shorting any projects right now is quite dangerous, right? You're getting the momentum, you're getting the heavyweight of the market, sucking in liquidity from the market, and at the end of the day, this is the opportunity to just keep your eyes and ears open for an opportunity to potentially just take profit, right? Bitcoin might give us another opportunity. I took profit here because I figured there's no way I'm going to be holding my Bitcoin stash, short-term Bitcoin stash, waiting for this to kind of resolve. I'd rather go into the other altcoins like Caspa, Render, Radix, all the others that have been rallying up since this consolidation. So this is my thing here. Could we consolidate and get into a distribution phase in the short term, maybe even create a higher high here, but then get a quick dump to the downside, people taking profits, looking for exit liquidity and all that stuff, and then we do come down and finally roll over. All of that is very, very possible here. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for Bitcoin to fully reset, let the momentum kind of get to the upside, and then we'll look for profit taking, exit positions, and all of that. Okay, so right now here on the 4-hour, you can see that we're entering the potential overbought condition. We're not even there yet, so maybe another little impulse to the upside on the 4-hour, and then maybe a bit of a dip, and then the daily is still going to have that push to the upside. So keep in mind that the 4-hour might get into that chop zone scenario, in the sense that, look at the dailies, it is in the chop zone, so the 4-hour might just kind of hang out for a little while, kind of go up and down, while while this price action resolves, and then the next impulse to the upside might get the daily into overbought, while the 4-hour, still kinds of bounces around here. This is the expectation, is that the 4-hour is going to potentially kind of bounce around while the daily takes a break on the 50% mark of the RSI, which is the chop zone. Okay, so be careful here, guys. The daily's in the chop zone. We're looking for a full reset to overbought conditions. Trade the 4-hour. If anything, overbought is coming very soon. And if you get into a short-term quick short, just understand that the Bitcoin price is still pumping to the upside based on its momentum. All right, guys, let's get right into the chart of today, which is HBAR. What's going on with HBAR, Hedera hashgraph? Guys, very bullish project, of course, talked about significantly here, but I have to bring this chart to your attention, given the fact that it's looking really bullish. Obviously, there's a lot of good fundamentals happening with HBAR. They have their own DEX, very, very small market cap DEX, which is something that I'm keeping my eye on as well. HBAR's community is solid, very, very a strong community, of course, and that is a good indication that we're going to get some good stability here. Now, I know my chart is a mess right now. It looks like one of those memes on Twitter. I get it, but it works for me, okay? It works for me. I'm going to try to make sense of this for you. You can see that we do have some downward sloping wedges that we've broken out of before in the past. This wedge, breakout, and we've been following this perfectly. Wedge right here, breakout. Now, the breakout on this wedge wasn't that great, but nonetheless, we are currently getting a little bit of a spring off of a back test of this previous low, okay? And this previous low, in fact, is a higher low, and we're making another higher low. Guys, this is a very bullish scenario. Very, very bullish scenario that HBAR is in currently. Now, we did get oversold in this scenario right here on the daily. We went right up, got slightly overbought, full reset to the downside. I'm expecting, and I have here no rush because we don't, obviously there's no rush right here. We could essentially be getting a bit of a consolidation right here before we get an explosive move to the upside where we could potentially get profit. I just want to bring this to your attention. Look at this big bearish, bullish divergence that we got here. Price action coming down while the momentum is upward sloping, right, from here. Now, this divergence right now actually played out, and we're still getting that follow through, a higher low, a confirmation low. Now, this is a good accumulation phase before we actually get that pop. Now, the question is, do we actually have enough of an impulse to break to higher highs? That is a good one, because this high right here is very important. Before we get into a bigger picture and zoom out, the RSI for me is not overbought, but we got oversold. We got oversold here. I would have loved to see this in an oversold scenario, but the price action is pretty close to the last time we got oversold, which for me is very good. It's a sign that there's not enough bearishness to bring it down to oversold, which we already got, but the price is already contending with it. So an interesting entry for sure. The MACD EMA's facing up. The almost nice EMA cross to the upside, green histogram bars, nice and green, looking for a move to the bullish control zone for sure. I'm thinking that that's very, very possible here, so be very careful. And then obviously the pop to the upside. On the daily, if you look at this, the biggest weak spot that we begin is at about 10 cents. Guys, even a little lower, at about 9.9 cents. Guys, this is looking really healthy. Look at this volume gap. Straight down price action means that if we do break out of this previous high, we can basically break all the way up to about 20 cents in one shot, given that there's no resistance above. Very, very, very little resistance to contend with for the price to get a rejection. Okay, so something to consider here, guys. Building a position, as you can see now, building a position on this big W formation, looking for the break of the neckline, would basically assume that we're getting to about 19 cents. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Great accumulation phase right now here for HBAR. And I'm going to be putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to be accumulating. Okay, so on the 4-hour right now, this is not bad, looking pretty good. We got into an overbought scenario, extremely overbought, which is pretty cool here. That's totally fine. Let this thing come down and get a better entry right around this area, guys. DCA, as this thing comes down, as the momentum shifts to the downside on the shorter term time frames, you might be able to snag a better entry. But guys, you're going to be nickeling and diming for a few percent. Yes, 10%. 10% range here if we do come down to look for support again. But at the end of the day, guys, DCA within that 10% is not a bad DCA opportunity. Now the question is, what about if we create a lower low here? You know, what if we come down and break down this previous low, guys? If that happens, stop your losses, put a stop loss, protect yourself, because at the end of the day, it's a bit risky. Look at the volume gap that we do have below it. We do have a weak spot that we got to contend with. Obviously, we didn't even touch this low. This price action right here didn't even deal with this. So if we do break down, right, we make that lower low, as long as we are in a bullish divergence scenario here on the daily or even on the weekly, guys, look at the weekly. Consolidating in the chop zone. Perfect scenario, consolidating here in the 50% mark on the weekly. What does that mean? That means that the likelihood is that we did get over sold. We're chopping away at the 50. We're gonna get a lot of liquidity here, a lot of people wrecked. Usually that's what happens when we get choppy, and then all of a sudden another continuation to the upside to get over bought. That's when we will be taking profits across the board on HBAR. But at the end of the day, who knows when that weekly is gonna end? We could end up that weekly at about 20 cents, and that's when aggressive actions need to be taken, because look at the percentage. We're talking about right around this zone. We're not gonna get accurate here. Look at this, 300% to the upside, guys. Bullish move to the upside. Lots of good weakness here. Straight up, straight down. No price action to act as resistance for that type of move to happen. All right, so what else do we have here? If we look at the divergence on the daily, we can see that this divergence did definitely play out. The issue with what I have right now is, can we actually break out of this resistance? We got this high and this high. I would have loved these highs to be a little bit more clear, but you don't always get what you want here with the price action. The only thing that I can say is that these tops are a bit weak. We've only got a little bit of a spike of price action right here, which is fine. This is why I have this profit-taking scenario here. Now, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to take profit there. Well, I put those red arrows in there so that you can understand it's time to get defensive, because if you do end up buying this bottom and we do end up to this level, the reality is there's a high probability that we do get a bit of a reaction, even if it's a bit of a rejection, to come down and even test the breakout points, right? So this is where you may want to, you know, trail up a stop loss and maybe take a bit of profit and protect yourself at this point, right? Because again, the red arrows, a little bit of a volume gap, previous high, you know, type of thing. Now, if you get into the 4 hour, I'm wondering if we have any other price action. Look at this. Look at the price action, looking pretty good here, looking really good. The 4-day, I'm wondering what's happening there on the 4-day. Let's see. Again, very similar to the weekly, in that chop zone, hanging out. I feel like it's looking for another pop to the upside to get into really extreme overbought conditions. If that happens, guys, this is going to be a really good move to the upside for HBAR. And we have the EMAs right around this zone on the 4-day. Maybe we get a bit of confluence here on the 4-day. Not many traders trade the 4-day. It's usually the daily, the 4 hour, the weekly. These are good. But the 4-day, obviously, if you find some confluence, keep it in mind. That's why I do have these red arrows here if we get that pop. Now, what about a measurement from where we are right now, more or less, to these red? That's still 50% gains, guys. You can't knock it. Those are double-digit gains, 50%. Nice profit there to be had. You're not going to give them back to the exchange, so you got to get defensive if we get to that level. Currently, HBAR is up approximately 3.5% for today, so we're getting a bit of a confirmation of proof of life here as we bounce off of that diagonal support. Look at the support that we got here 1, 2, 3 times. This is what we need. And in the volume, guys, look at the nice volume that we got off this bounce. That means that the overall market believes in this move, almost like a voting system. A lot of the market is looking like it wants to get into this, and you can see the MACD right now. We got a pale histogram bar looking for those EMA crosses of confirmation. Green histogram bar will give us a nice bullish confirmation to the upside, and then maybe that move to get into the bullish control zone for sure. Big picture, looking at the 4-day, the daily. Look at the EMA cross is actually happening right now. All right, guys. Looking pretty good, guys. I'm gonna be live tonight at 7:30. Feel free to join. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to make those requests. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Guys, feel free to join the Discord. Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.